Welcome back to Make It Mental, everybody. Here's an update on my wrecked COVID-19 rally car. I've put aluminum shock tower braces in here in an effort to change the suspension geometry, bump steer geometry, and spring stiffness. And by putting shocks in a more vertical position, you get maximum spring resistance, whereas if you put them inside, you get more mechanical leverage. When the tire hits a bump, a rock, what have you, it's more easy to compress the spring. I believe this shock system here was probably for a rock crawler. I don't remember because they were a closeout sale, and I have already pre-installed some extra balls right here for a quick change. If I want it a little bit softer, I move it in, and that'll make the suspension a little bit softer because you have more mechanical leverage to work against the spring. I've eliminated the bump steer, or at least as much as possible. As you can see right here, there's almost no change. In fact, there's a little bit of a negative camber change versus anything else. The bump steer is done by changing the articulation point of my steering. If you're doing a custom vehicle or maybe even a factory vehicle and you want to improve upon its performance, you got to get everything in alignment as best as possible. And the white shit you're seeing right here is basically super glue with they call it a filler or a hardener, but it's a hardener basically. It's a gap filler hardener. So I put the ball in there, ran it into this 3 millimeter plastic, put a drop of super glue, some hardener in there, and hopefully that prevents that ball right there from coming out in the event of a collision. This one here, I'm not too worried about. I got a lock nut on it. And if you know me by now and been following my videos, I like to upcycle as much as possible. So I use as many unused parts or reused parts as possible. On the rear is a similar setup. Again, quick change, except I have to grind down a little bit of the aluminum on it won't focus. Let me move it. There we go. I have to grind down a little bit of the aluminum on the bottom side of that socket right there to make that shock clear so it doesn't rub up against this piece of aluminum. So I have to do an adjustment there. The rear is pretty satisfactory, but I would like to make a brace that comes from here to here just to add an extra bit because I don't trust the plastic mounts all that well. You know, it's just basically, I don't care which way you look at it, it's basically just screws, 4 little screws holding on this piece of metal which supports all the weight of this vehicle. The front's worse because it's 100% plastic up front. As you can see right here, we got some twist. I'm gonna switch hands right here so you guys get a better view. We got some twist. You know, some people would say that's a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, to be totally honest, but it might be a good thing. I'm going to test it out like this first, but I think I'm going to put a chassis brace or a strut tower brace between here and somewhere in the front as well. Got a couple of batteries on order. I don't remember the size of them. 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, a pair of them. I also ordered a pair of LiPo batteries for my Trax vehicle. Got a cooling fan on order. But Psycho or Make It Mental, you say you like to go to your hobby store. You should go. Well, I am like almost 100 miles away, one direction from my hobby store. So this is why I order online. But I use eBay because I like the filters. I can select US only. So I got one set of batteries come from California, another set of batteries come from Florida, and a brushless 380 sized can motor coming from Minnesota, I want to say. So shit's coming from all over the place. And the 380 motor is going to be for the Chinese knockoff. Those of you who didn't follow me, I'm going to turn that into a rally car eventually. So there's the look so far. This car has accumulated some damage, as you can see down here. I'm going to live with it for now. I'm sure I'm going to have some fine tuning to do for the camber and caster adjustments. Right now I'm just setting it up by eyeball, and then I'll give it a test run later on. The focus is absolutely terrible. There does it look so far. Hope you all enjoy something out of this segment, get inspired. You got a lot of extra parts laying around for a particular vehicle you bought. Like most of this shit right here comes from the WL Toys A979. These shocks, if I remember correctly, come out of a 1/18 scale vehicle. I think they're a crawler vehicle. Don't quote me on that. The ESC and the motor came from redcatracing.com, and check them out periodically. Sometimes they have good deals on brushless motors, brushed motors, ESCs, and what have you. It's a good place to source out parts because they put it on closeout like 90% discount and get ESCs, receivers, and what have you for a very good price. If you periodically check them out, even if you may not need it right now, you might want it in the future, especially if you're a creative person like myself and you're always looking for something else. With that being said, that's all I have today. Have a good day, everybody.